So, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you for being on Open for Business. Um, what's your name?
My name is Fredrick Leslie.
Frederick Leslie.
Yes.
Okay. How'd you end up in Savannah, Georgia?
I've been in the trucking industry for 20 years dealing with Georgia ports. And in 2001, I just decided to come off the road and actually move here, live here full time.
Okay. Now, you're also in another previous life, you were with the military.
Yes.
Which branch?
United States Army 18th Airborne 327 Signal Battalion, Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg. Where have you been stationed around the world?
I've only been stateside, Fort Bragg, Fort Jackson, and Fort Gordon.
Great. How long were you in the military?
I served 1 year active duty.
Very good. Very good. And all in North Carolina, right?
North Carolina, Georgia, and South Carolina.
In 1 year. Yeah, it's
Yes.
typical military, moving you around like that. Okay, so after the military, what year was that?
1988 and 89.
Okay. What happened after that?
After that, I moved into going to college. I decided that somewhere in the future that I wanted to be a business owner, so I needed to have all the tools necessary to actually ensure that I ran a successful business. And I left college in 1992. I went to truck driving school in 1993. I started business in 1993, and I just ended in 2013.
So you actually closed the business.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, due to the economy, but I am going to look at going back very soon.
Have you heard of, well, that's another conversation. There is an organization called SCORE that can mentor your business for free.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's another conversation. Um, so at what point did you reach out to Goodwill to look for help?
Well, actually, it was um, in the declining times,
Sure.
and after opening my eyes one morning and realizing after looking around, I had totally lost everything:
Okay.
house, car, money, business, wife, kids. When I say everything, everything. There
Okay.
was not even dirt to stump and make dust. And I was actually having lunch, and they were in the same facility that I was having lunch, Miss Smalls, Mr. Cantu, and Mr. Brown. And they asked were any veterans in the building, and perfect timing, I was there. And since that time of meeting them, it's been one good thing after another, just almost on a daily basis.
So what's the first thing Goodwill did for you?
First thing they did was got me back my 214, realizing that, hey, you've been in the military
Yeah.
and that there are benefits that are available for veterans, and um, just generally helping me to get myself back on track and begin to restructure. And because I was at that point before I met them, I had just basically given up.
Hmm.
And now, I've been going to the doctor, getting my medication. I'm getting ready to start school, which
Where are you
I'll be
starting?
getting Savannah Tech. I'm going into the Master Barber program.
Great.
And it's just been almost like a rebirth. This is a whole new person now.
What's your future vision for yourself
I wish to be retired again in 24 months.
in 24 months? Okay.
I'm a student of business, and with what they've done and the programs that they have me in,
Hmm.
and having my mind cleared back by having an involvement and interaction with them, I think I'll be at that goal again.
Good. Now, where are you working right now?
Right now, I'm working for a company called Emery's Bath and Kitchen Installation, but also I work at the port as an on-call jockey driver.
Oh, so you've got two jobs.
And that entails, if I work both of them, 20 hours a day.
Wow. So nothing like going from
One to the
losing
other.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, to being coming back, and that's actually my mind has been refocused and I'm regrounded again. So I actually am able to do it mentally now because the last 2.5 months I've had that constant supporting cast where before when I was dealing with life, I didn't.
Wow. So when you say you lost everything, I mean you really lost
In
everything.
every aspect of the word.
Wow. Now, where did you end up living? I mean, what did you do?
I ended up in a hotel.
Hmm.
And that ran out, I ended up in the shelter.
Okay.
But now, since meeting the people from Goodwill, believe it or not, I'm actually starting to build my house the first week of August. So I'll be,
That's a wonderful story.
it's being restored back to where I was before I got to where I am. And, a part of losing everything, I actually lost my spirituality also. And that was the thing that always has kept me going through the years. But now I've gained it back. So now I'm back to knowing who I am and whose I am. And just all the help that they've given me has put me back in a better place.
So, if another military vet watches this video, what would you tell them if they have had the same background as you, where you've lost everything? What would you tell them?
That don't sit back and become consumed inside of your problem or your situation. That as a veteran, there are more people out that are willing to help us. A lot of times we just look to family and friends, and we always see that that'll turn out that family and friend won't always be there for you. But I can say for myself that the people that I deal with here at Goodwill, they've always been there every day. Classes different. I hadn't written a resume in over 20 years.
Did they help you with that?
They showed me everything about a
Goodwill did.
resume, and it's like the resumes have changed in the last 20 years.
Hmm.
And I just got re-immaculated to life all over again.
So, when you did the interview with the bath and kitchen place, did they ask you about your past and how did you deal with that?
The guy actually didn't want to hire me
Hmm.
because I've been in business so long for myself,
Hmm.
and I was more comfortable sitting at a desk as opposed to doing hands-on work.
Okay.
And he had a guy that had been working with him for 18 years and another guy with 30 years experience. And needless to say, it's now just he and I.
Really? Wow.
So, don't judge the book by its cover.
Absolutely. Can you all think of any other questions?
No, I mean, Mr. Leslie, obviously, he's very dynamic and articulate, so he covers everything. I mean, um, gosh, you've asked all the right questions, really.
Am I hired?
Exactly, yeah.
That would be awesome if you really could uh, start your own business.
I'm going back in business, and aside from that, when I was in college, I studied psychology, even though psychology, business management, and accounting. Psychology always was my strong suit.
Hmm.
So now that I'm getting my mentality back as well as my spirituality, I see guys on a day-to-day basis, and in the course of my 24-hour period each day, I'm constantly walking into people and counseling, mentoring, or
You're
generally
paying
just
it forward.
talking. Yeah,
Beautiful.
it came down to a point, I think it was about a month ago, that I wasn't even focused at any time then about finding a job anymore because I was running into so many people that were in disparate situations, either mentally, emotionally, or financially, physically, and just to be able to talk to them and to see that, well, I can help you just by verbally. I said, well, if I continue to do this, then I know provisions will be made for me for everything else. So that's what I'm standing on now. And just fortunate enough that I had one job, and then a phone call comes on a Saturday during lunch, and I got another one. So the doors are opening now. And matter of fact, that's the program, Operation Open Doors.
Yep.
So we can open the doors for you.
It's a great name.
Mhm.
So, what else have you learned about Goodwill that you didn't know about Goodwill?
I didn't know that. I thought Goodwill was just a donation center where you collect stuff at your house and you don't need it anymore. It's come obsolete. You give it to them and they give it away to other people or they sell it to generate their revenue. I did not know that they had all of these different programs that would actually help you. It's almost like going to college for 4 years in a matter of 4 weeks. I mean, just with the preparedness and the job contacts that they have and the course of study that they take you through before they put you in line with the job contacts.
Tell me about some of that training that you got.
Uh, like I said about the resumes.
Hmm.
I was taught in college, not on my own, that the structure of a resume. So when I had to do resumes years and years ago, I put on, oh, I'm married, I got this many kids, and we do this, we do that, and just my cover, not my cover page, but my cover story.
Right.
And I guess leading to a little sympathy, hey, this guy needs a job, and then I would go into the work history. But the condensed form that the young lady showed me was so much more neater, cleaner, and structured, and it was brief and to the point. And I actually have went on an interview that Mr. Cantu and Mr. Miss Smalls, excuse me, took me on. I actually was in line for a supervisor's job that started off at $19 an hour. And the young lady from Tennessee called me on the phone actually and told me to go and pick up my drug test form. But lo and behold, when we got there, I think we stayed there about an hour. No one could ever find my drug test form. So I came to the conclusion I really wanted the job. And I came to the conclusion the next day that God meant for me to stay where I was. And the same day, my VRAP paperwork came in saying I was accepted into their program.
What is it called? The V?
VRAP
What
is
is that?
it's a program for veterans, and what it does, it pays you a living assistance wage while you're in school. So, needless to say, I'll be going to school and getting paid for it. So, it made me believe that God intended for me to keep this job that I have and go to school. Because if I had taken that job, I wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have. Not starting off at $19 an hour.
What would you like to tell Goodwill?
Thank you. You know, they're a nice group of people here. I met several of them, and most of them are veterans. That's the thing; they can relate. So when you're talking to them, they can kind of understand where you're coming from, and it makes it a little bit more comfortable. And I tell my counselors from the clinic that I go to, now the shrink has a shrink.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If there's not any more questions, do y'all have any other questions? Did I not cover anything that you want to talk about?
That's it. If you're a veteran, they have a facility that you can come to and people that will help you, to reestablish yourself in life. Don't give up so easy. I almost made the dubious decision to just give up. But lo and behold, the world meant it for the bad, but everything worked out for the good.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being on our YouTube channel.
Thank you.